My birthplace is Tyre. It's a city on an island, surrounded by a high wall beyond which extends the blue, moody being itself, the sea. As the sun rises, it first sheds light onto the lands and the cities, which are connected with wide roads, then to the mountain paths all the way to Persia, stretching until the fertile lands by the river Indus. Tyre is rich. Its houses are well built, its roads well paved, its people well dressed, and its gods satisfied. And Tyre is loved by its king, my father. Aegenor is his name, and his glorious acts earned the respect of the pharaoh himself. The pharaoh reciprocated Aegenor with gold, and the rule of all Phoenician lands. The most precious of the pharaoh's gifts was my mother, the tender, blue-eyed Telephassa. She captured his eyes with her delicate moves and his heart with her stunning looks. He immediately fell in love with her. She was already pregnant when they arrived in Tyre, and soon their first son was born, Phoenix, after my second brother Cyrus arrived, and soon after, Cilix and Cadmus too. My father was busy blocking the Assyrians, whose ambitious king was trying to cross the river and enter our lands. My father faced the Assyrian army successfully and even caused it to flee. Telephassa allowed her victorious husband to bed her another time, and it is from this reunion that I was born. A baby girl that seemed so weak and fragile when compared with her bouncing baby boys of the previous births. I grew with all the attentions of the palace on me. There was always someone ready to play with me, comb my hair, or take me for a walk on the city towers to watch the sea and the many boats that were sailing back and forth to Usha. After the age of 7, my mother introduced me to many ceremonies. I learned to dance and sing and hold the sacred vase for the libations and pour wine and milk on the altars. The most exciting was the cult of Astarte, goddess of Tyre. The story said that the island of Tyre was a star which fell from the sky onto the sea. It was free floating at will of waves and wind, and still full of glowing cosmic energy, when our goddess Astarte fixed its position and was born out of the gleams of fire and celestial rock. First, she appeared as a serpent, and the rock became an olive tree to let her coil on its trunk and warm herself in the rays of sun. But Baal, the Stormbringer, was chasing her with thunder and lightning, and to soothe him, she became a most beautiful woman. Baal fell in love with her, and from their union were born the Tyrians. But she was independent and curious, and one day she left on her golden chariot, pulled by the sacred bull, and travelled all the world. The adventures of Astarte were a great source of inspiration for us Tyrians. Her stories were told and sang again and again in the banquets of my father. So were also the tales from his own adventures. I like to hear his tales of his battles with his enemies, his strategies, and his tactics. My father had already promised his sons. Phoenix would marry the daughter of the king of Sidon, and Cyrus was promised to the daughter of the lord of Damascus. Cilix and Cadmus were supposed to keep the kingdom together and would travel a lot with my father. Instead, I had to learn Egyptian, since the pharaoh might one day decide to take me as his wife. This was any girl's dream. Becoming a queen in Thebes meant luck, divination, and glory for the family. My mother was all excited. She had left Thebes 25 years ago, and now she was getting ready to return.